Alright folks, hope you're well. Today we've got the second limited edition Sonoma. The one I did previously, I believe, had like cryo hops. I should remember, considering I actually had that the night before recording this, but I seem to have got rid of the can due to it being recycling day. But yeah, so this is the second one. I think there was there 3 in all? I can't really remember. So again, same recipe, 3.8% ABV, but this time with 2025 hand selected hops. And the hops came from 3 separate sources, and they're all in full cone hops, so it's a bit going back to, you know, basics and tradition, I suppose. So they're using Citra from Carpenter Ranches in Massachusetts. They're using Centennial from, is that New House Farms, also in Washington. And then Mosaic from Westwood Farms in Oregon. There you go. Really nice limited edition artwork on this, which from what I read is to sort of like reflect all 3 farms. And it's just really nice. The one that I had previously, which is probably the previous video, tasted like I remember Sonoma, but just had a little bit more of like a bite and a kick. Really like genuinely interesting variant of which I went into great lengths yesterday about how much I love that beer. So we won't repeat ourselves too much. But yeah, massive fan of Sonoma. And like I said in the other video, for pound, arguably one of the, if not the best core range pale ale here in the UK. So here we go with this one. Looks really nice and hazy. Got a nice brightness to it. I think it's pretty much the same colour as the regular Sonoma and the previous one. I'd imagine the different, you know, formats of hop you use will sometimes affect the way the base recipe can look. But yeah, really nice sort of like yellowy amber hue to it. Nice and hazy. Just shy of 1 finger's worth of a slightly off-white head, using the track tumbler, which like I said in the other video, he's going to make loads of references like that now, isn't he? Got a lot of weight to it, so you could cause a bit of damage if you ever found yourself in that situation. I don't look for trouble. Trouble looks for me. I've never been in a proper fight in all my life, so just ignore me there. So yeah, looking very good. Let's see what we get on the nose. Ooh. Now this has more of a sort of like a grassy, herbal, like leafiness to it. It's not as sort of like aromatic as the other sort of special release Sonoma that I had. It's still got that classic Sonoma taste, aroma. But I would say probably the beer that I had, I'm going to just say yesterday, that was much more like in your face with its aroma. And from what I remember the last time I had the regular Sonoma, I think this is probably the one out of the 3 that's probably not as aromatic, and there's a more of an like earthy character to this one. Almost has like a bit of a tea sort of smell to it. Don't know why I'm rocking from side to side. Yeah, it's sort of like almost like a very slightly black tea sensation coming from this. It's a really familiar yet sort of unique aroma, I would say. A little bit citrusy, a little bit piney, almost. But then you've got slight hedgerow sweetness there as well. I mean, fundamentally, it smells really, really nice. But probably the lesser aromatic of the two that I've had. Anyway, looking forward to trying it. Cheers, everyone. Oh yeah. And that uniqueness from the nose is coming through on the taste. And I've got to say, it's not as flavoursome. The base flavours are there, what you would expect with Sonoma. I'd say maybe more of a, like a lemony citrus character coming through more. That slight herbal / black tea character is there. And that's probably just me, what I'm picking up. It's definitely a little bit more earthy. There's a little bit more bitterness on the back end. Finish is quite dry actually as well. Very, very unique. There's like a little bit of an aftertaste which I can't put my finger on. Yeah, it's almost like a more traditional tasting version of Sonoma. Still lovely though. Still really, really nice. I'm probably not enjoying this one as much as the one that I had yesterday. And I don't think I'm enjoying it as much as I would the regular Sonoma. But it's really like fascinating to feel how different a beer can taste when you're using that same recipe, but just using different format of hops in there. Yeah, it's got a British, this is a generic taste note, a British flavour to it. A little bit of a bready, biscuity malt coming through. Definitely feels a little bit like thinner. I'm just referencing the one I had yesterday. That sort of had a little bit more of a bulkier body. Not a massively bulky body because of obviously the beer itself and its ABV. But yeah, it's intriguing. I probably wouldn't go out my way to pick up another can of it, if I'm being brutally honest. I would just, even in relation to the other one that I had, I would probably just go straight for regular Sonoma. And it's definitely beer that it's going to be on my list for bulk buys for the summer. I think I've got me lagers sorted by going with Feltins just because it's in my local Asda. Although I can't really bulk up on it because it's £6 at a time for a 4-pack. But then again, if I want a lager and I just happen to be in my local Asda, there is of course the Asda have got their own sort of like line of collaborations with different breweries. Not sure if most of those beers are pre-existing recipes and they Asda have just sort of like licensed them for their supermarket, or if they've worked with or asked the breweries to make new recipes. But back on track, the Utopian Export Lager from Asda is very, very nice, and I could get 5 of those for a 10. Hang on a minute, what would make more ecological sense? Felton's will be in a bigger can. Anyway, but yeah, so I think I mentioned this in when I did the unboxing of where this beer came from. I think I'm trying to be not as diverse as I used to be when it comes to buying beers, just because I'd rather spend the amount I'm used to and get beers that I would enjoy time and time and time again, over taking a punt on like 5 beers from this brewery, 2 from that brewery, or this brewery's got a new beer out. I'll still be doing that obviously because I like to try new beers, but I'd much rather spend less and get more of Sonoma than probably do like one of each release from track at that week, unless I know there's a notable release either from, I don't really take what Untappd says because unless it's someone I know, I don't really care about people's opinions. That's not to say there's some absolutely fantastic beer channels where I've watched them do a beer review and that's made me want to go buy a beer. But I'd much rather take, like, if, let's say, Rob from Hopzine said, oh, this beer's absolutely fantastic, I know for a fact I will buy that beer and I'll probably think the same because I'm fucking sheep. Like Mersey beers, if he said, oh, this red ale is absolutely banging, or a brown ale, or an Idaho 7 laced IPA, I mean, I always enjoy what it says, even though he thinks that Edelstoff is better than Lagerbier Hell from Augustina, and that's just utter madness. And I know it's subjective, but I think if you think that beer's better than Lagerbier Hell, you're just fundamentally wrong. You're not, of course, you've got your own tastes. And yeah, just I'm more inclined to take like those guys' opinions on beer, or people who I've come to know through doing this, as opposed to like just watching beer reviews or reading an Untappd review, that sort of thing. I don't know what point I'm trying to make here. We've completely gone off track. But there is a beer that I did pick up at the same time as this from Cloudwater, which unfortunately I was busy at the time. And Rob had also picked up that beer, Hopzine, name dropping. I'm going to be with him tomorrow. And Real Ale Craft Beer, and of course Adam, not to, name drop. There are people out there who would literally act like that. Anyway, and yeah, so I might crack that open tonight if I want to be quite fresh, because I will be drinking tomorrow. But anyway, Sonoma, the 2025 hand-selected hops version. Yeah, it's still very nice. You still can tell it's Sonoma, which is important. It's definitely, the selling point, it's more intriguing, but the flavour profile for me, it's not as satisfying as the one that I had yesterday and Sonoma overall. And the great thing about reviewing these two beers is it's now I just want to get loads of fucking cans of Sonoma and enjoy it, maybe treat myself to a mini keg. Although I don't really have the facilities to chill it down properly. And I don't think I ever drink my mini kegs when I buy them in the optimal way. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. Check out the video I did yesterday. I've got to have got a regular Sonoma video on the channel, but you've probably already tried that beer already. Track, fantastic brewery. Love it when breweries take already established and well-regarded beers and then do something interesting with them. And hopefully they may continue to do this every now and then, not necessarily just annually, but every few years, do something different. And it's also good to get to know, the places where they're getting hops from. So that's 3 separate American hop farms that I'm now going to be aware of, and that's the beauty of it. Anyway, lovely stuff still. It's just out of Sonoma, the one I had yesterday, and this one. There's probably others that they released. This is probably my least favourite. That's not to say it's bad beer. It's still very good. I don't know. It's very, very black tea. The more I'm drinking it, it's even got the aftertaste of like a black tea. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, opinions if you tried it. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now because I need to cook my tea. I'm going to be doing these burgers. Just nice and simple. Hopefully they're defrosted. But anyway, bye. Go away. Fucking hell.